What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin in this video today, XCN USD. It is the 31st day of October, the very final day, and here we are at about $0.0083. Whew. 10 hours, 37 minutes left in the day. I'd like to apologize because I was complaining about us moving sideways for so long. I was like, we're going to do something. We need to do something. I'm getting bored. Well, now we're not bored anymore, but now we're just depressed. Now we're moving down. So, although we did expect that we'd move down a little bit lower, let's look at the short-term stuff to figure out where we are going. Is this the low? Can we count on this? Is Bitcoin moving up? I made a video on Bitcoin recently that was kind of bearish, and we'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I am wrong. I even put that in the title that I hope I'm wrong. But we were calling for prices to go down to 103 to 105K, and 111.7K would invalidate me. So we're really not that far away from there, but we have to close the day above there. If that's the case, OnyxCoin might be saved of going lower if we determine any lower prices from here in this analysis. So looking at the 1 hour time frame. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's great. Yeah, what's great about it? Kids? Anybody? Class? Johnny, you got your hand up. So what's great about it is you move down. You had a very fierce move down, relevant to all these moves here, relative to all these moves here. A lot of volume came in, but you didn't go anywhere. You didn't go anywhere. And in fact, now you're coming back up. I love it. I love it. 36 minutes left in this hour. A lot can happen. You can certainly move back down. But this is actually a really good reaction. Typically, with a lot of volume, you expect a breakout, not a double bottom, right? It's like this here. Let's see. Can I find an example? Can I find a proper example? Yeah, like this, right? You're trying to get higher highs. You're looking to break out. That's a lot of volume. That's enough to break out, but you're doing it at the high. It's not good. It's not good, right? You want this kind of volume and that kind of move to be through your resistance points, not at or to your resistance points. Because then what happened? Then you came down, right? Then what happens? Then you come up, probably. Looking at the indicators here, you do have bullish divergence on the 1 hour RSI. Perfect bullish divergence, bouncing right off the oversold zone. That's a powerful signal right there. Stochastics look great as well. And the MACD has bullish divergence too. We have bullish divergence across all indicators on the 1 hour time frame. Lovely, beautiful, great to see. I like it. Makes me happy. Yeah, the low might be in, guys. That's great. Wow, this is different than I thought the video would have been. Honestly, I was getting ready to call for lower prices. 4 hour, the 4 hour could turn things around though. Don't worry. Let's see. 4 hour RSI. I like this too. Actually, I mean it's deep. We definitely got deep in there, but we got in and out pretty quickly. Okay. Now we're finding support here, an area that we have found support before. I mean, let's go up. Let's see how we do with this up here. Are we going to find resistance up here like we do the other times? I don't know. That at least implies that we get up there though. At least see some upward movement. Or do we actually break through and get to the overbought zone for the first time in, I don't know, all month since the 2nd of October? Since the just the bullish reverberations. Oh no, it wasn't from the 10th. Never mind, sorry. But still, since then, we actually had a bigger move here, and yet you were way weaker on the RSI. The MACD does not have bullish divergence, neither does the RSI, but they do have bullish convergence where you're getting higher lows with higher lows, so that's fine. Stochastics too, so all of these looking good, looking like your setup. I mean, the stochastics being this oversold for this long, you guys, you could be oversold for 3 times as long. There's no rule as far as timing goes, but you would think being this oversold for this long, you would think that you would come out of it, right? Being this red on the MACD for this long, same thing. There's no rule that says you can only be red for so long. You could be red for 5 times as long as this, but being this red for this long, you would think, I would think at least, that we're probably overdue for some upside. So I think that's what we're going to get here. Nice. That makes me happy. Oh, that's great. That's good. The 1 hour and the 4 hour. The 4 hour, to be fair, actually looks kind of sad, but there are bullish prospects, right? What do I mean by sad? Like, technically, yes, we are expecting that you move up, but are you just going to find resistance there and then come back down? That puts off lower lows to another day, which is kind of sad to think about. Or when we get up here, will we validate that we are breaking out? We don't know. The 4 hour doesn't tell us enough. The 1 hour and the 4 hour both, however, do tell us enough to know that we are at a relative low point. We should be moving back to 0.009 or higher pretty soon. That's what I'm gathering there, okay? Hopefully higher. Daily time frame. The daily time frame is interesting. We'll get into what's interesting about the MACD here, but the RSI is right at the oversold zone. We're right in the same areas that we've been every time that we find support, right? It doesn't mean that we have to find support right now, but we could. We're at some of the lowest levels of daily closes that we've had all year. Literally, if we close here, this will be the lowest daily close that we've had all year in 2025, I believe. Okay, maybe not. Sorry, we did. I forgot that most of this move happened in January. Shout out to the haters, too, by the way. There's one guy on my X page who was saying that I've been calling for 26 to 32 cents for 10 months. And my response is not going to help my case, but a little bit, right? Let's be real with the numbers here, okay? First and foremost, sir, I have not been calling for 26 to 32 cents all this time. We've really only been calling for it since here. So it's instead of 10 months, it's more like 6 months, okay, sir? But we are patiently waiting for it. And when it happens, I don't care. I don't care. We could have expected it to happen in June or July like we did, right? That was the original expectation. Um, which just means that even though we've been calling for it for 6 months, really June, July, August, September, October, we're really only 3 months overdue. I have a feeling that if November, December comes along, we're 4 or 5 months overdue, and we're all the way up at not even 26 cents. We're at half that price. I have a feeling nobody's going to care, right? And I'm not just making these calls so that one day, whenever we make a move, nobody cares anyways. We're all having fun. But I'm just saying I'm not going to care, right? Nobody's going to care. You've had more time to accumulate. You've had more time to make more money at lower levels. Nobody's going to be upset with that, man. The only people that are going to be upset are people like you who sold, who bought the top and probably sold the low, unfortunately. Which that's going on. It's not just OnyxCoin, man. It's everything, everything, man. Let's look at others right now. Look at the others chart. Go on a monthly time frame here. Everything, man. Because the majority of people in crypto, they bought their cryptos up here. Okay, majority of people when they sold their cryptos down here. Everybody's feeling pain right now, man. Everybody is. And that range is from a high like the mid high to the low, like an average low. That's about a 50% drop, man. That's everybody's feeling the pain right now. OnyxCoin maybe a little bit more. We've certainly dropped more than 50%, but I'm getting distracted here. Let's get back to work. Okay. Daily RSI right at the areas that we look to bounce. Hopefully it does. If we go a little bit lower, that's fine. I'm not really worried about closing here or lower. Stochastics have been oversold for quite some time. Again, one would think that being in these levels, you're probably not going to be here for too long. I mean, here to here, you were here for like 52 days, 55 days, and then you moved up. Here to here, you're here for about 25 days, and then you moved up, so about half that time. And then here to here, you're there for about 40 days. So that's a perfect range, right? Here to where we are now, we're at 37 days. We're right in the midst of this range, right on the back end of this range here. It's any day now. Could we keep consolidating going into November? Absolutely, we could. And in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if November opened up a little bit to the red side. But at this rate, 55, 56, 60 days, sometime between now and the next month, OnyxCoin's got to show some life. It certainly will. I think it will. Daily stochastics, daily RSI being this oversold for this long, I feel like we're overdue for a bounce. But just because we're overdue doesn't mean that it has to happen today. It could take a week or two, but certainly at low levels here, both in the price, both in these indicators here. We zoom out. I want to look at the daily MACD in a second and go over what I think is interesting there. But we zoom out, and there's all kinds of people who are looking at this like it's let's say a bearish descending triangle, and maybe you have the right to look at that. I don't think it is personally. I think depending on what trend line you use, like if you're using this, okay, so it's definitely not those dots there. Then what? Just this here? That's not really descending triangle like, right? That's not really how a descending triangle works. What, just two touch points? Two touch points? No, it would be shaved. And descending triangles, they're very well respected patterns. So I just maybe that's the best look, but you're still breaking out here and there, which is fine. It's not enough touch points. You know what I mean? It's too big of a U in the middle. I would say it's not a descending triangle. If anybody's looking at it like that, I would say, I mean, you might be right. Maybe we do break down. Maybe that happens, and that would suck, but maybe that happens, and we back test prior resistance for support, and then we V-shape recovery out of here. I mean, could that happen? I mean, it could happen already, yes, but right there, golden ratio, right there. If we were to drop 0.0, is that 0.003, that would hold. That's a ways away from here. I have a really hard time imagining that OnyxCoin goes all the way back down there, but anything can happen, right? Especially if the bull market's over, if we're starting the bear market, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that we're doing that, though. I think that really what we're in is a double bottom situation. with a W shape. I think that is exactly what we're doing here, personally. But we'll see. Time will tell. And again, we've been consolidating for a very long time, you guys. From this high to where we are now, it's been 40 weeks since we've seen any kind of productive movement. From a high here to there, it took 34 weeks. So we're overdue. I really do think that we're overdue to move up here. But looking at the daily time frame, this is what I thought was interesting on the MACD, is that you've been building some bullish momentum, and I've seen this work out a couple times. Okay, let's just see if we have this in this thing's history. Hold on. Yeah. So like this, right? Back here, you had bullish divergence building, right? You had higher lows in your histogram, and eventually you had a segment right here where it flipped green. Do you see it right there? Do you see that right there? You would think the price is moving up then, but no. That is the green segment right there. I'm going to delete this so you can see it. Right here's the green part, and look at what the price did. The price continued to move down throughout all this green here. And then what do? We moved up 256% or 260%, whatever it was, in a 5-day period from the low to the high. Over here, we had a similar kind of result where we were moving down here and we had some green coming in, and then we had a nice little move up, but relative to that move, it wasn't as extreme, but still that was one of the bigger moves we've seen throughout this range. We're doing the same things, and I wonder even back here, did we do the same thing? Let's see. What about from this low point here? Let's zoom it in. Yeah, I think we did do the same thing, didn't we? Nope. Kind of. Not. It's just too sideways, so it's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. But we've done this thing before where even as we're building lower prices, we get the green histogram to come in. It makes me kind of optimistic that something fierce is coming. I've seen this happen before, even with Bitcoin. We look at the daily time frame here. Let's go all the way back. I'm just thinking of the time. I mean, I'm sure we're even skipping over moments right now that this has happened in, but I want to look at the specific moment I'm thinking of, which was actually the end of the bear market, not last cycle, but the cycle before. Right here, yeah, 2018, 2019. We zoom this in, and look, you were getting some green here. Look at this. You're moving down, right? And you got some green before the move up, and then boom, nice pop. Nice pop. And that ultimately led to your low, which led to a fantastic rally from like 3K all the way up to 14K, right? I don't know. Just a thought, just something that, again, it's interesting. It's very interesting whenever this happens. It's very rare and very extreme conditions whenever you get a low point that keeps moving lower and you get green on the histogram. And typically it works out rather well, actually. It's like a form of bullish divergence, which is kind of interesting. Weekly time frame here, bullish divergence on the weekly MACD, absolutely. Bullish divergence on the stochastics. We're at the exact same points that we were at here when we found support as well. So I think we are closer to a point of support and moving higher rather than breaking out and moving lower. But time will tell. We'll see. 0.00832 right now. Ultimately, if we break out from here, I would expect that we move up very fast to about 1.3 cents. We persist higher, we'll move very fast to prices that are at 2 cents to 2.4 cents, 2.5 cents. And then once we're above this zone here, which is at right about like 2.8 cents, once we get above that, we should be on our merry way to prices that are above 5 cents and beyond, right? 26 to 32 cents is the ultimate goal. I'll see you guys on the next one. I got nothing else to talk about. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.